Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Aussie Tech Heads. This week the episode number is 422 and it's for the week of the 29th of January 2015. Who can believe that the first month of 2015 is almost over, eh? It just goes so fast. But look, there's still a lot of cricket to come. We've got the Auckland Nines on the weekend. Oh, it's heaven. It's sport heaven. All right, let's get straight in. Let's meet who we've got here tonight. We've got Will as usual. Hey Will, how you doing? And Will probably can't hear me. Can anyone else hear me?
You
didn't cut out of it?
Yeah, about 20 seconds there that nothing happened at all.
All right, can you hear me now?
Just.
All right, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It's
Great.
it's typical tech trouble Thursday.
Yes, all right. Well, hopefully the everything stays okay for now. Let me just close a window here. Maybe that's the problem. Well, we'll try that. All right, and over on the other, in the reclining chair, by the look of it, Shane, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, but for the most part, I can.
Great. All right, I'm just going along here trying to close some programs, but I'm not sure why I'd be cutting in and out. But anyway, you guys aren't cutting in and out here, so everything's going good. All right. So what's been going on, Shane? We haven't seen you for a couple of weeks.
No, I had the late shift last week because I was covering for someone at work. And before that, I had camera problems. And earlier tonight, I had camera problems, but I think I've resolved them.
Good. So you use a different port or something, I hear.
Tried that, but no, I ended up using a different camera. So I don't know whether to go back to hardly normal with this one saying it's broken or what. Because for the most part, it actually works. It seems to be Skype that it doesn't like.
Yeah, I think Skype can be a bit finicky sometimes if it wants to be. But anyway, that's what happens. All right. Yes. Now we've got heaps to get through tonight, and we want to introduce you to our special guest tonight on the show, and his name's Frank. Hey Frank, how you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Not too bad. So we've got Frank on here tonight because he's got this great new service he wants to tell us about, and he's pushing it around the place, and I think you'll find that it's very intriguing indeed. It's right up our tech brain alleys. What can you tell us about it? Introduce it for us, Frankie, and just to say, what's it all about?
Yeah, sure. I guess over the last 10 or 15 years, I've really been into tech, and I'm sure just like all the listeners to this show, we love our gadgets, we love our code, we love our computer games, whatever it is tech we love. And over the last couple of years, I've had the good fortune to be able to spend some time learning a little bit more about it and learning to code myself and everything. And basically what I've put together over the last year or so is a business, essentially, that teaches kids to code, because we found that there's a really good opportunity for kids to start to get into the world of tech, and rather than just consuming digital assets, is to actually create it themselves.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea, because we know that kids just consume, don't they? My kids are probably on the iPads now. That's probably why I got no bandwidth. Actually, I probably should go and find out what's going on out there. But but they're all consuming, and so teaching them the code is probably a good idea. What sort of ages is this aimed at?
Yeah, we've got a curriculum, like a whole syllabus drawn up. It's not just something that we just sort of love and then teach. It's actually a proper set of lessons. And we aim pretty much from year 1 through to year 7 or 8. We specialise in that primary school age, where we introduce them to coding problem sets, like little things like using Scratch and code.org, if anyone's familiar with it. And it's about learning how to use algorithms and how to use processes, through to where then in year 5 and 6, where they actually will get their hands a little bit dirty and start dabbling in some actual code.
Yeah, right. So this is launched. It's up and running.
Yeah, it's very, very new. It launched about 10 days ago.
Right.
So we're just, that's why I'm here now. I'm trying to let everybody know that there's this new business out there, a new service. And what we're trying to do is get the word out to see if we can find some people that want to be involved and help this business grow.
Yeah, so you've got the business, you've launched it in Sydney, and there's so you want to try and get it spread all around Australia. So there's opportunities everywhere.
Absolutely, yeah. We want to be really big, really fast. I guess I'm really passionate about it. Like, I'd love to have some kids, churn out some apps, and someone said, how did you learn that at the age of 9? And for them to say, through my business, that would be, a great rewarding feeling. So we're trying to spread this out to anyone and everyone that has an interest. We're trying to speak to the general public, to parents, to principals, to anyone and everyone that'll listen.
Now, you've in the outline on your webpage, we better tell everyone what the thing's called. It's ScopeIT Education, and you can find it at scopeiteducation.com.au. Nice and easy to find. Nice little, clean little webpage. Good on you. That's very attractive. And so when I was reading through the site, and when a little kiddie, say he does make an app, or he gets to the end of the syllabus or something, because you do say that they can put their apps up onto the iTunes Store or Google Play Store or whatever. How does that sort of work? Because you need to have an account, don't you? A developer account. So how does that sort of work for the kids?
Yeah, what we actually do, we actually have a master developer account. And if the kid's at school and spends, all our courses are 10-week courses, which fits in with the school term. At the end of the 10 weeks, if they finished a project, we will upload it on our master account for them, and to make sure that it's available for mum and dad and auntie, uncle, and all their friends to sort of download and check out. So I think that'd be pretty exciting for a kid to actually be able to come home and say, "Mum and Dad, look what I made. It's actually on the App Store." That's going to be a real buzz for them, I think.
Yes, for sure. Now, just looking further into your site here, from the courses that you have, there's creative coding, bits and bytes, and digital living. So like you're covering a lot of stuff there. So that's pretty good work. The bits and the bytes, that one looks interesting, doesn't it? The little kiddie with the little circuit board, and he's look out, he's got the pliers. He hasn't got a hammer. He's got the pliers.
It's all introductory stuff. The bits and bytes focuses on the Arduino, the little microprocessor, where we teach them how to use flashing LEDs and buzzers and sensors. And the courses move on to little basic robotics, where they're building robots that can walk around the table and not fall off, and little things like that. So that's pretty exciting. That's actually one of the catalysts for me putting this business together. Is I did an Arduino course, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I did that on online. Yeah, and so I thought, I might be able to replicate this and do this in the real world.
Now, this isn't your first step into the business world. You've done some things before, and you've got some experience, and now you're pushing ahead with this. What sort of things have you done before?
Yeah, I was the franchisor, the owner and founder of a business some time ago in a very, very different space. It was in poker, in pubs and clubs. It was non-gambling. I will make that clear.
Right.
But
non-gambling.
It was not. It was a free service. There's an entertainment version of poker.
Matchsticks.
Sort of, yeah. Well, just for play chips.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a very similar model where we franchised it out, and same thing. We wanted the business to be really, really big, really quick. And so I'm sort of coming off the back of that experience. I'm doing it again, and we're looking for franchisees. That's what we're really looking for, is for people that want to come into the business, that like it, that have an interest in IT. They don't necessarily need to know how to code. They don't necessarily need to know how to build robots. We sort of do a lot of the training, and we're looking for teachers and business investors to sort of come together, and if they like what we do, to go out into the world and show the kids those products. So I'm sort of coming off the back of a skill set that it was different, a different business, but the same sort of business model.
Yep. So now moving, say, more into the business side of the project that you've got going. So you've split Australia up. This is how it's going to work. You've split Australia up into different geographical ScopeIT education areas, I suppose. Now, what each area, how does that sort of work? Is it a minimum number of children or schools, or how is each area defined, more or less, basically?
Yeah, it's a question we get straight away, pretty much, because when you buy a franchise, you're buying an asset, and you want to make sure that asset has some real value. And so long term, we make sure that every area that you buy is exclusive. You can't have somebody else that's going to come into your area and try and eat your lunch, so to speak.
Yep.
So those areas, we've drafted them in local council areas. So you might buy Sydney CBD or Western Melbourne, or you buy areas. We have a draft system, but because they're only drafted in councils, some councils may have fewer schools than others, so they're a bit malleable. We can work with someone. If someone finds that there's only 10 schools in an area, we'll just double that and it'll be 2 councils. We sort of work with each prospective incoming team member and make sure that they've got an area that works for them.
Yeah, and all right, so that sounds good. So Will and Shane, did you have any questions for Frank on this topic?
I have heaps of questions for Frank, actually.
All right, well, now's the time to ask.
couldn't have been better timing. Is it only kids at school that can participate, or is it just school-age kids, or is it kids of any age?
No, well, our lessons are targeted at that, year 1 to year 7, year 8 bracket, but the lessons could be applied to anyone. And the lessons that we've got drafted, they're actually right in line with the Australian Board of Studies curriculum and outcomes. So they're very structured. I started to put the lessons together, and then I spoke to a principal, and he was like, this is good, but it doesn't follow the school system. So we've since gotten partners, and I've got a doctorate in education who has remodeled the lessons to actually be exactly in line with how schools teach. But in saying that, back to your sort of question, is this can be applied to anyone, and we do lessons outside of school. We do weekend workshops, we do school holiday workshops, we do late night classes, and we definitely can do classes for beginners and adults, but the course will only take you so far at this point in time. That the business is so new, we don't have advanced courses. So if someone does already know a little bit of code, our lessons will be too easy for them. But we're definitely going to develop the courses to get into adult education, because we basically want to teach tech to everyone. We're just starting with kids first.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason why I asked is because I've got a 16-year-old who's showing an interest in coding. He's not at school anymore. He finished up he just started year 11 and then got a full-time job. But he's coming from the perspective of, he's just come to me a couple of times, and he hasn't really, obviously he doesn't know languages and what languages are out there, but he's come to me more with ideas of what he wants to code about. Like he wants to do Minecraft modules, or he wants to do modules for video games, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Is he sort of an ideal candidate? Is there a certain level of schooling that you're hoping that he'd have kind of like a foundation of knowledge, like mathematical knowledge or computer knowledge of some sort?
You don't really need any background to really do it, but the area that he's pushing in, he could do our beginning lessons, but he would probably very quickly outgrow it. At the age of 16, and with someone with a bit of drive in coding, at this point in time, there's probably better avenues for him to take than our courses. I would recommend anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look, the best thing I could see, it's on your website here. Look, you don't even have to know how to tech if you want to jump into this opportunity. You'll teach us. You'll do
absolutely. We've got some of our first franchisees actually know nothing about tech at all, but they do have an interest and know that tech is a growing industry, and especially teaching kids tech. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. So some of our early franchisees have actually bought into the business, and they're just employing teachers, and those teachers are teaching the tech, and they're simply just a passive investor.
Yeah, right.
But we say, we'd like to have people that come in that do show an interest. You don't have to, but our ultimate targets are people who like tech and probably wouldn't mind teaching kids, or maybe partnering with a wife or a husband that does teach and come in as a duo. There's a lot of options. So you don't have to know tech.
So you've got to. This actually works within the school day, doesn't it? So,
predominantly,
yes.
Our target market is to work in school hours in the school classrooms.
Yes.
But there is a second component, which is the out of school hours. But we're really aiming for the schools. We want to get in and be the primary IT teacher within the school system, because right now most schools, not all, are really under-resourced in trying to teach tech. Either they don't have the teachers to teach it, because in general the teachers are an aging population, and it's very hard for them to teach something they didn't grow up with. Or secondly, they might have the staff, but they might not have the equipment. And what we do is we bring all the equipment to the schools. We bring 16 Mac laptops, we bring the Arduinos, we bring the robotics, we bring everything. So the schools don't need to have any resource bar electrical power. As long as they give us an empty socket and some and some space, we can teach the kids what they need to know.
Yeah, right. Well, you probably answered my next question there, pretty much. I was just going to say, like, do you see, like, because tech isn't going away, as you said, that eventually the education department will bring these sort of curriculum into the schools themselves, and like, and so you won't be, say, needed as such. But I think, as you said, and this is where I think you answered my question, is that the teachers are older and they're not from that sort of background, so there'll probably always be a space for the tech heads to get in there and teach some kiddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Absolutely. In saying that, the people do worry. They go, what if the schools do make this mandatory and it is part of the curriculum? Well, funnily enough, the government just did a review just in November, and we're pushing for it to become mandatory. And it takes people by surprise, saying, but isn't that against what you would want? And we say no, because if it's mandatory, that means every school has to be teaching this stuff, and most schools can't do it. So right now, a school can choose us, but also can choose not to have us, where in the future, if it has to be done, they have to get it done by someone, and most schools don't have the resources, so we'll be their solution.
Excellent. All right. Will, did you have any questions for Frank?
No, they've pretty much all been
done
asked and answered, yeah.
I think we've interrogated him quite well.
I enjoy talking about it, that's fine.
Yeah. So did you have is there anything else that you should let us know about, Frank, about what's happening there?
All I'd really say is if it's intrigued anyone that's listening at all and you just want to know more information, just shoot us an email from the website. Like you said, it's scopeiteducation.com.au. I'm more than happy to give people some more information.
Good stuff. All right. Now, Frank's going to stay with us for the rest of the show and throw his two bob around of the stories like everyone else does here. And so good on you, Frank. And he's also agreed he's going to sponsor us for the next couple of weeks at least. So hopefully, we'll hear from him again soon on the
cool.
On
looks like
show.
the beers are on you this weekend at the pub, Glenn.
Maybe. All right, let's get into some stories. And look, people have said, I don't know who said it was a slow news week. I've got heaps of it.
I don't know. I got heaps of stories.
I got heaps of Apple stories. I don't know about you. What do you got, Will?
Yeah, of course you do. There's a surprise.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I got a heap of Android and Google stories. So.
What do you got, Shane?
I've got a bit of everything actually. I've got an Apple story, I've got a Samsung story, and just a regular IPTV story.
All right. Oh, talking about you do your IPTV story because I've got a few things to say about that.
Yep. Okay.
Surprisingly.
All right, just a quick one. As of today, which was a couple of days ago, catch-up service TenPlay is now available on the Apple TV. TenPlay has already had more than 1 million app downloads on mobile platforms, with streaming on mobile and tablets accounting for half of all streams. And the release follows Cricket Australia's addition to the Apple TV, offering news and highlight videos on your big screen TV. If you've got an Apple TV, you should see the TenPlay immediately, but you might need to do a software update.
Yeah, I saw on the Apple TV, I saw they've got the Cricket Australia app as well. It's got some good stuff on there, actually. So I've had a bit of a spin on that. TenPlay, I'll be interested in seeing that because I'll tell you something, they really need something that works because I usually do watch the TenPlay off my phone and send it to the Apple TV, and it's pus. Like straight up, it's no good. It stalls. You've got if you have the phone, if the phone say like goes to sleep, or the screen goes off while you're watching a show, as it would because it times out. So the screen goes off, ads come on, it just pauses. The screen has to be on to get past the ads. It was a mess, and it probably still is a mess. But hopefully on the Apple TV they've sorted that out, so at least you can watch your Family Feud with no interruptions. That'd be great. Can't wait. And also my other IP TV comment was Stan. I loaded up Stan. It's launched. Free 30-day trial. So get in there and have a look at that. First thing was, what did I think about it? Probably, I'm not a big TV watcher, but there wasn't too many shows I was interested in. A lot of the shows that I was interested in only had like one episode in the folder. I don't know what's going on there. Downloaded a movie and very, very faint. I couldn't hear it. Turned the telly up. Don't know what was going on with the sound. So whether or not I don't know. What would that be? Would they be streaming it out for surround sound? And I only had
no, you wouldn't think they'd change it. It may be a codec problem.
Yeah, so maybe it was just that movie. I haven't been back. But anyway, so Stan's launched, Presto's launched, and I think Netflix is coming soon. All right. What's your take on that, Frank? You signed up to any of these things?
I'm not, but it's really interesting to see, especially the TenPlay come on, just how mainstream streaming is becoming. Like it's no longer a little segment for people who love tech. It's really just becoming mainstream. If Ten's on board, that's a real sort of confirmation that this is not something that's in the back orders anymore. So it's interesting to see that it's developing so fast and that they're all coming together.
But they can't figure out how to put multiple programs on multiple channels.
Yeah, they do that. What do you mean?
So often they've got, it's not as bad as it was now, but half the time you flick through the channels and they've got the same show showing on 3 of their channels.
On Channel 10 or just
channels in general.
Yeah, I don't know what the go is with that. Like say with 7 and then there's 7 and then 70. I don't know why they're the same. 7.2 is different and 7 mate. But anyway. Yeah. But look, yeah, that's what they do. That's just how they go. That's how they roll. It's hopefully we'll get the cricket and NRL in high def soon, rather than while we're watching NRL and cricket in high def.
That would require all the TV stations to buy new cameras, and that's never going to happen.
No, but they already have high def cameras. The cricket does, because when they in daylight saving or whatever, and when it's in Perth, they say, all right, everyone, all these states are going to news. If you want to keep watching the cricket, turn to Gem, and bang, high def, high def beauty.
Oh, they do for stuff like that, but a lot of them sports don't, like V8 supercars and stuff like that. They're still using the old gear. Yeah, I don't know.
Would some of it come down to the broadcast towers just aren't capable to broadcast high def in some areas?
See, a lot of the places have fixed satellites, like a lot of the arenas and stuff have the satellite dishes that are fixed and a massive bandwidth. But a lot of them, when they go to the mobile events, have just the vans, and the vans are transmitting, so they may not have the bandwidth. They may not. Then again, they may not want to pay for the satellite time. It may cost a lot more to use a satellite in HD because of the bandwidth they're using. So unless it's absolutely necessary, a lot of the time they may not actually even broadcast in. Oh, they might not rent the satellite for that sort of bandwidth. Yeah. So
yeah, I heard a story that I think AFL might have been moving to high def next year, and I heard a story that NRL might be doing the same. But I just thought it was all because of like Channel 9's their flagship moniker, so to speak, like 9. That's where they are, and certain people, I don't know, the not so fortunate up here, people might not know where they are if they moved off Channel 9. They might be.
Well, it was everyone's Channel 10 come around. That was still on Channel O for years.
Yeah, but that was in Queensland. Everyone knew it was Channel 0 up here.
Yeah, everyone else did. In Queensland, Channel O and Channel 10, it moved to Channel 10 and they kept it on Channel O because they didn't want to lose any viewers.
Well, what about, I don't know, in the old days, I don't know if anyone remembers in the old days, remember like Channel ABC used to be on Channel 5? And then all of a sudden it'd be on...
and then it eventually went to 2. And SBS was 11.
No, when it was on Channel 5, it used to go, it'd switch to 5A, and then a couple of years later go back to 5, and then 5A. It was all over the place. I don't know. But those days are gone, thank goodness.
Back in the old days where you had the manual VHF tuner, you had to sit there and dial in your frequency.
That's the one, yeah. See, that's another topic for your old fart geeks, Will.
Oh, yeah, actually it is. Yeah,
right that
about Android analog technology.
Yeah, write that one down. All right. Well, while you're on screen there, give us one of your stories.
While we're talking about streaming and things like that, the Android Chromecast. Presto has just been released onto the. Of course, Presto is Foxtel owned. It's announced that they're now streaming directly onto the Chromecast. So you can get all the apps and TV series and movies and everything like that if you subscribe to Presto. It's now it's compatible obviously with all the Android stuff, and you can stream directly from your Chromecast. You can from your tablet to your Chromecast, from your computer to your Chromecast, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, but now that it's straight on the Chromecast, it's pretty neat. It means you don't actually, you can use the HDMI remote through the TV to control it. So if you don't even have your phone on you, you don't even need to use that. So you can watch it directly on the unit, which frees up your phone or your computer, so you're not using resources just to stream to that now. So that's pretty neat.
Now that's different to the Apple TV, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Presto. This is like you were talking about before. This is Stan. Well, this is Foxtel's version of that.
Yeah, but I meant like the Chromecast differs from the Apple TV in the way that once you set the Chromecast going, it's getting the content by itself.
Yeah, it depends on how you can do a screen share from your PC, so it will, or from your phone, so it will actually whatever is on your phone or on your computer, it will display. But you can also change it up so that if you don't want to do that, you can actually set it so that it will stream like a YouTube video, for example. You can set it to start playing initially on your device, but then it will follow the link itself and it will cache and buffer and load straight off the device. And that's the thing with the Presto app. Now that it's an actual app on the phone, it will on the Chromecast, it will actually probably still do the same. It'll probably start the initial load on your phone, but once you set it rolling, it will flick across onto the Chromecast and it will continue to load from the Chromecast. So yeah, it depends on which particular part of the Chromecast you're using, and how you're using it depends on where it pulls its data from.
Yeah, right.
So I have a little tip for you guys here if you want.
Yes.
If you happen to own a Chromecast, if you send in your serial number to Presto, they'll give you 2 months free trial.
All right. I've got 2 Chromecasts. Yes.
I just tried that today. If
right.
you just send in, they'll give you a free coupon to give you 2 months free Presto.
Oh, there's the tip of the week.
Cool. I got two Chromecasts.
Yeah, I thought
I have one right here.
I thought I was going to have to go to KFC.
Everyone's free Presto for the next few months.
I thought
suddenly 1,000 people do that and go, we might stop doing that now.
Yeah, they might withdraw the offer.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have to go to KFC and buy one of those chicken dogs. Or whatever they are.
A chicken dog?
Oh, they're a hot dog with chicken. They're like that
The
other chicken burger thing.
Isn't it? Oh, I haven't seen one. I've seen one in a picture, but it looks like so. It's 2 pieces of chicken as the bun,
with a hot dog
and a
between.
hot dog in the middle. It's a chicken dog.
That's healthy.
It looks it, doesn't it? Now,
Tell you what, it'd be nice, but you'd only ever want one, but it'd be worth it.
remember they had at Hungry Jack's, they had that the heart attack or something. There's some big, massive burger. It had about 8 beef patties on it or something.
Oh, the quadruple Whopper or whatever it was.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
You can still order it.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can order it. You can order a 25 Whopper if you want. You just tell them how many patties you want on it and they make them.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get in.
Apparently, not that I've ever. No, I've just heard that.
Yeah, sure will. Now, look, I've got a couple of Apple stories myself here. But so, Frank, what you're an Apple boy, are you? Or
I use a bit of both. I'm not hard and fast in any camp.
right. So what are you sitting in front of now?
Right now, I'm in front of a MacBook Air.
Oh, yep, nice. Have you put Windows 10 on it?
No. On my MacBook Air?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think the MacBook Air would run it.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
No, my day-to-day workhorse is a PC, but I use my Mac for browsing and chatting and everything else sort of around.
Right.
But my workhorse is a PC.
So before, when you were saying, going back to your ScopeIT Education, before you were saying that you took the computers, the MacBooks into the school, is there any reason why they're MacBooks and not PCs?
Yeah, simply because we want to be able to teach the kids to be able to develop for both Android and iOS. And if we want to develop for iOS, they have to be able to run Xcode. And so Xcode runs Mac only. So
yeah, that's pretty much right. All right. Now, look, the big
Go
news...
to Hackintosh.
I don't think that'd work too much, would it? Apple would probably know you're on one. Now, okay, big news. Apple. Now, they've made the biggest profit in corporate history. I think they were, going down this road last year, weren't they? They were the most valuable company in the world, at least anyway. So Apple sold, how's this, a record-breaking 74.4 million iPhones in the for its first quarter, mind you, ending 27th of December. So powering up a $18 billion in profit. And that equates to a 30% increase in sales to 74.6 billion. It's mad, isn't it? The only disappointment, apparently, is the iPad. So, look, my thoughts on why that would be, look, the poor little iPad has dropped 18% to 21.4 million units compared to 26 million last year, but, still going pretty strong. Look, I reckon, iPads, people probably would have, you've got an iPad if you've got an iPhone. So you could say hand in hand, if you've got an iPhone, you're going to go and get an iPad. You're not going to really go and get a Galaxy Tab or whatever. iPads not generally on plans. I don't think they are they, Will? Normally they're just off plan, just Wi-Fi only.
Me for? I got no idea.
Oh, yeah, you don't, would you? But probably they're not on plan. So, like, you buy your phone, you're on a plan, so you get that incremental repayment. You don't have to fork out $600, $700 at the start. And tablets would generally last longer, I would imagine, in terms of usability and features. Like my iPad 2 still kicking around, working quite fine.
Tablets are generally more rugged. You'll go through 3 phones to 1 tablet.
Yep.
Yeah, I know our family's like that. My girlfriend's still using the same iPad we've had for probably 3 years now, where we get a new phone every year. So I think that story's, that's
well, I've still got the original Samsung 7-inch tab. I've still got that. And I've got the new one now, but we still use that one. It's in the car. It's the GPS and the data logger and everything in the car now. So, they are pretty rugged compared to phones.
Yeah. And look, Apple's hit the jackpot in China as well. Apparently, they're the leading smartphone retailer over there. Apple has previously lagged behind Samsung and something called the Xiaomi or something in the Chinese market. Now, this market analysis mob called Canalys, there's a lot of hard words in this one tonight, noted that the incredible popularity of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus in China's fourth quarter of 2014 enabled Apple to turn the tables and take the top spot. So there they go. They're racing ahead over in China. That's why their iPhone sales are up so much. They've cracked the Chinese.
787,000 phones a day, apparently.
What?
That's insane.
780. Oh.
Hang on, let me just double check. I just glanced at it, then I hit the scroll button on the mouse and I moved it. I'm just trying to find it.
Yeah, you said 72 million in a quarter. Yeah.
818,000 a day.
Wow.
74 million for the quarter. And I was just reading another story, and they actually compare it in metric tons. And I'm just trying to find that story now, and I think they said it's something like 7 tons a day of iPhones. There we go. In the quarter. It's 37,000 metric tons of iPhones in the quarter, which is 750 battle tanks.
Yeah, that's just insane. How would you make 800,000 a day? Well, if you're keeping up with demand, well, you have to be making 800,000 a day, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd be making 1 million a day because the weekends they won't be making any.
Yeah. I don't know.
They have weekends over in.
They're over in
the Chinese New Year, but it lasts like 2
whatever.
months and nothing gets made then.
I don't know. Pete, they're working pretty hard over there.
Not in the Chinese New Year, they don't. You ever try order something out of China during Chinese New Year? Good luck with that.
Oh, they're all dressed up as dragons or something, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
All right, Shane, what do you think about? You're an Android person, aren't you?
I've kind of got 1 foot in each camp, and that's 3 camps because predominantly I'm Windows for work and just what I've been brought up with. Phone-wise, I'm Android. Most of the tablets are Android, but our young fella, the school he goes to, they're Apple. So we got him iPad Mini for Christmas.
Nice.
But yeah, predominantly I'm sort of Android and Windows.
Now you're not BlackBerry then, by any chance? You haven't got 4 legs in?
No. I had a Windows phone for a while.
Yeah.
For work, and had an iPhone for work for a while, and I think I might have got a BlackBerry as my first phone. When I was working at Westtrack.
My nephew uses he's got, because he does recording studio, so at the recording studio they all use Macs. His recording system at home's a PC. And then for work, they all use the BlackBerry infrastructure. His personal phone's an Android, and then for the studio phones are all Apples.
Yeah, right.
They're all iPhones. So he's well versed in all of them. So it's really good. If I need to know something, I just ring him and go, hey. He's the one who can tell me.
I saw Telstra's bringing back the BlackBerry keyboard phone. I don't know why, but it's $500 to buy or something.
Everybody who uses a BlackBerry loves them.
I can't see that. I just can't see that at all. But anyway, I'll continue on with
people loving BlackBerries, or
I'll continue on with my Apple stories because, well, believe it or not, last week was a bit Microsofty, and this week everything's just turned out to be Apple, doesn't it? So anyway, I'll keep going with Apple. The Apple Australia paid out $80.3 million in income tax last financial year, so it's an increase of $43.9 million. So good on you. Start paying. Now, that's, what do we got here?
That's still nothing. That's still a day of iPhone sales.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it crazy? So that increase, their profit in Australia increased 120.6%. It is massive. That's massive.
And for an economy our size, that's not a bad effort.
Yes. Yeah, that's not bad. It says here the tax hike came courtesy of a major increase in pre-tax profit, which hit $251.9 million. So
see, part of that now, they've opened more stores, they've got more staff, so they're actually paying physical property here, whereas before it was all just they were importing the phones and there was no one, they're importing them through stores, but now they've actually got staff in stores and they've got people here, they've got marketers here, they've got everything here, so they've actually got an infrastructure here now.
So they're saying that this story goes on to say, though, that a big factor in that massive profit just for Australia was the foreign exchange rate, which apparently they had an unrealised foreign exchange gain of 106.4 million in 2014. Because our dollar's fallen
they didn't know that was going to happen.
To the toilet. It's 75 cents or something today, I saw. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. All right. What else? I've got one more little Microsoft story. But, Will, what else have you... what else have you got? And then we'll go back to Shane.
All righty. Well, a quick story, as you guys know. I'm a big fan of the Humble Bundle, which is a charity. It's always charity organised. The guys write the programs for free and all the money. You can basically pay whatever you want. If you pay over a certain amount, you get all bonus games and things like that. The premium price basically is the average price that people are donating. So at the moment, it's up to $3.89 US. And if you do that, you get 10 games. There's 3 more have just been added this morning. So you can either pay, I think it's, if you pay, you can pay 10 cents if you want, and you'll get I think you get 6 of them. And if you pay the $3.89, you get the whole lot. So at the moment, they've got the I Pollute, Buddy and Me, Doodle Kingdom, King of Dragon Pass, Lynn, Otto, Sorcery 2, The Tiny Bang Story, and a couple others on there at the moment. So at the moment, their charities are Extra Life and Children's Miracle Network Hospitals and the World Land Trust. Right. So don't forget, go and do your bit and spend a couple of bucks and have some fun in the process.
Yeah, excellent. When do you jump into that Humble Bundle? Is that because that's available as sales increase? Is that right? Is that the one?
If you pay the premium, so the $3.89 or whatever it is at the moment, if this is Humble Bundle 10, so at any point in Humble Bundle 10, if they add another game to it, you get that game. If you only pay $2 and get 6 of the games, well, that's all you're going to get for the whole thing. And then, of course, when Humble Bundle 11 comes out, that might be the premium is the average of the previous bundle. So if it turns out being everybody pays $3.87 for this one and everybody gets the premium package, well, it'll be the same, but it never happens that way because some people donate $100, some people donate $1. So whatever their average is of this one, then that'll be the premium for the next one. So it might be $5, it could be $2.
Right.
So it's a cheap way because a lot of these games, after the Humble Bundle finishes, they will actually become in the store and available for download, and they can be anywhere from 99 cents to $10 each. So buying them in the bundle is definitely the best way of going about that.
Yeah, I'm a pretty regular buyer of the Humble Bundle on the PC versions of the games. Usually, most times it comes out, I buy it. And, like you said, for a couple of dollars, you can really increase your games catalogue. And even if you're not a gamer, it's a great way to flick some money to charity and encourage these companies to keep offering.
And you can always give the code to someone else if you don't want to play them. You can quite happily give it to someone else and for a present or whatever, and say, "Here, have some fun for a couple of days."
Yeah, I think I did something. I did a Mac heist one time. I think. I can't remember. It was a while ago now. I got some good software out of that. So that was good. Shane.
Hello.
How you going?
Good.
What's going on? What else have you got?
I'm going to do an Apple story as well. Jump on the bandwagon. Tim Cook says the Apple Watch will ship in April. The Apple Watch will start shipping in April to consumers, according to Apple CEO Tim Cook. Cook's decision to add some clarity to its actual release in timeline is uncharacteristic for Apple because usually they kind of keep that sort of thing secret.
Yeah, I was going to say,
pre-announcing the hardware months in advance was already a departure from their standard practice. So even though when they did the launch and they sort of said, okay, it will actually be available kind of down the track, that's something unusual for them as well. And the story goes on to sort of finish up by saying that the developers have been hanging out for this sort of thing because they just haven't had really a timeline to work with. They didn't know whether they should hold off on releases or keep going with their release cycle of their current sort of software. But now they've actually got a shipping date and a timeline that they can kind of aim for. So they're happy as well.
So I'm guessing at the same time there's going to be a new round of phones and devices released as well to match a new watch.
Probably.
No, well, the highly unusual. They're just going to release one product.
No. Look, the phones, they normally come out, September, don't they? And so we need Eric here. He's the Apple timeline guru. He knows what's going on with those.
All right, that's enough Apple story. Shut up now.
Yeah, well, that's look. And just one last thing, because I've run out of Apple stories, thank goodness. But if you want more Apple stories, you can go to the Aussie Mac Zone. It's on iTunes. Go and just punch that into your little iPhone or wherever you might be listening, your podcatcher somewhere.
Listen to it on our radio.
Yes, on the so go to AussieMacZone.com.au for the website, or you can follow us at Facebook, facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, and we put up, I'll put up a iOS app of the day, normally which you pay for, but for that day it's free, so grab it that day, otherwise you've got to pay for it. And Warlock, when he's around, he puts up the little Android app of the day, and also the Aussie Tech. Oh, that's. My dog just came in. And and just brushed past me. I wonder what the hell it was. So the AussieTechRadio.com. So it's AUSSIE TechRadio.com, which has got 24/7. It's just a shoutcast radio service. Just who knows what show you're going to hear. We've got
tech all the time.
Got the boys of tech, two boys talking tech, Geeksphere TV, tech webcast, from all shows from Australia and New Zealand. So New Zealand got a couple of good shows. So the Geeksphere and the boys of tech. So jump on those and have a look at those, or listen to those guys, because they're pretty good. And yes, all right, let's get back into some stories. I've got a Microsoft story, believe it or not. Microsoft, last week we heard about the HoloLens and all that sort of good stuff. Now, apparently this is still in the labs, but this is apparently what they're working on, an AutoCharge lamp to charge your smartphone. So AutoCharge works by using cameras to detect the phones on a desk in a room. And what's that say? Sorry, my thing just closed. So it uses cameras to detect phones on a desk in a room and moving the lamp's beam to shine into it. So it could be used in table lamps. Yes, so it's shining a light into the camera. So your room light, right? It doesn't work. It's just a prototype. But this is the story, that the room light will focus down into your phone and charge the battery like a solar calculator.
Yeah, that's up there with the sweat powered batteries, I think.
Using freaking lasers.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because your laser's not going to use anywhere near as much power as just plugging it into the wall.
We got research. It's researched and built by some joint in Beijing. The prototype makes use of an Xbox Connect to detect the phone or tablet on a surface. And from the images supplied in the research paper, it seems to be rather accurate knowing where the device is. The only issue apparently presented by AutoCharge is delivering enough power through the beam to the phone. Microsoft admits that a ceiling light could be too weak to charge a phone sufficiently enough. It says that AutoCharge would utilise a straight light beam with little scattering to ensure most of the light reach the phone.
So they're going to use basically a solar PV panel. They're going to use a high-intensity UV light to activate that, even if it is a pinpoint. So now you've got a pinpoint UV light, and then you need a Microsoft Connect to run it, and then you just hope nobody looks into the beam and burns their retinas out. Yeah, it's a great idea, Microsoft. Well done.
Look, it's a prototype, so
it's not going to go past that.
But it's good. Like, it's a prototype, so that's where they think that they want to go. So that'll come together. You watch it, Will.
It's so much easier just to put your phone into a case that has a solar panel on the back of it and just leave it on your dashboard.
Yeah, but the heat from that'd affect your phone though, wouldn't it?
Nah, it doesn't get hot enough for that.
You sure?
Everything. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Because the back of the cases are actually insulated, so they don't get that hot.
Right.
You don't want to leave. If you do leave your phone on the dash, it's okay. Don't ever leave it screen side up though. That'll cause problems.
All right, Shane. What's Samsung's doing something?
Yeah, my last story is Samsung has eliminated printing from the computer with its first Android-driven models to be available in Australia. Instead of basically, these are a slew of printers from Samsung that use the Android operating system instead of your regular printer operating system, whatever that usually is. So instead users can go straight to the printer and access their documents from any of their kind of Android-like cloud services, like their Google Docs or Google Photos, that sort of thing, or you can even get things out of Google Drive, Evernote, OneDrive, Dropbox, Facebook. You can print web pages. You can hook up your camera and print straight from that. The story didn't actually say, but I'm assuming it also did regular printing from a PC as well. Samsung Electronics Australia said it would be bring 8 of these multifunction devices, printers, models to the Australian market. Does it tell me how? Does it tell me when? No, it just says that the new range will be sold through Samsung's authorised partners across Australia, but there's no release date.
Well, what's different between that and HP's Print Anywhere technology that they've had for years, that you can print from anywhere to any device that you've got access to?
Can you pull the document? Can the printer hook up? I suppose, is this saying that the printer hooks up to the cloud and pulls the document down?
HP's been doing that for years. I've got a 5-year-old HP printer behind me that I've been able to do that with.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but with that, can you actually log straight into, say, your Dropbox account and print stuff from it?
Yeah, from my phone or from my desktop, or from...
Yes. Yeah. What this does is that kind of... that you don't need the intermediary thing. You go straight from the printer to your...
Oh, yeah, I can do it straight from the printer too, because it's got an Android tablet built into it, effectively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I find it's old... I mean, it... I don't understand why Samsung's actually taken so long to do this. HP's been doing it for years. I mean, what are they called? HP back in the day, back with the old LaserJet stuff. So I'm talking like mid-90s. You could actually log in to your printer from anywhere and do it that way, which was an early version of this. But I'm sorry, Samsung, you missed the boat on that one.
Well, that's what they're doing. I'll tell you, my biggest thing is I can't print from my iPhone or iPad. I hate it.
Oh, that'll teach you
hard. That's too hard. I know you can.
No fault.
And you've got to download special apps and do the chicken dance, but I hate it. I just hate it. Google makes every Australian an apps reseller. So there you go. You can earn some money. Google has launched the Google Apps Referral Program, giving users $15 for every referral they make to Google Apps for Work. So there you go. Get in and... start a new job at some company and introduce them to Google Apps. Yeah. You know, you might be on a winner.
Now, if only I knew somewhere where I could learn how to program Google Apps.
We don't have to.
I don't know. I think I might have a thing for you there.
Now, users can refer an unlimited number of customers as long as they sign up for at least 120 days of Google Apps for Work. Payments are made directly to the bank. Ching, ching. Google Apps.
Yeah. How much does Google Apps cost, though?
Yeah, it's $5 per user per month. It includes 30 gig of Gmail and Google Drive storage. So it doesn't. You can't get the $15 for Google Apps free, of course. But
do any of you guys use Google Apps?
Oh, not the paid one, the free one.
Not the paid one.
Oh, yeah, you just use the free service. I'm just wondering, like, is the paid one, any better? Is it, worthwhile looking at that?
Well, it looks like the only real difference is you get, like, it depends on the $5 a month one. You get name at yourcompany.com email address, voice video calls, which you can get through Hangout, integrated online calendar, 30 gig of online storage, online text. So that's the only difference. In the Work Plus, which is $10 a month, you get the same stuff as the other one. Unlimited storage, advanced admin controls for Drive, Google Vault, and easy search export. So yeah, not really. You get more storage and a at yourname.com email address, which you're probably going to have if you have a company anyway.
Free one. I've got the free one, and I get the my domain name email address.
I don't know if you do now though. I think that was an earlier thing. I think they've made that paid only. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I have it and I don't have that. So, and I only signed up not that long ago. So.
But I think the advantage also is not only just do you get your name at yourdomain.com, but you also, like for businesses, so you're starting up a business, you're essentially in control of email, so you can then set up your employees' email accounts. So you can have John at such and such.
But I mean, you're going to do that through your hosting company anyway, chances are. If you're already paying for hosting, it's going to be set up on there anyway.
Yeah, you've just got more control with the Google Apps.
You do, because I mean, it's very easy to pick up shit. Like if you're using a hosting company and you want to change hosting companies, it's a pain in the ass to swap email servers and stuff like that. So I can see where just having a Google that it basically forwards to you from a Google account, I can see where that would definitely be beneficial, but it's certainly not a game changer, I don't think.
Oh, look, I think if you're in a business and you've got to have some controls over your email, like your normal pop IMAP that you get from your normal web host, like you are pretty limited. I think space wise might be 5 gig.
That's one problem.
Like across the whole lot, you can't have too much. Even if you had 10 gig in hosting space, normally you're still limited to like 2 or 5 gig. Normally, yes, you can get unlimited email addresses, but I don't know. I think if you got an enterprise, I think that's where you do $5 a head. A lot of control. You can open.
But I mean, once you get
them,
over a certain size, say 20 or 30 employees, chances are you're running your own servers anyway.
Yeah. Well, then that's why. Well, Google, they've been pretty active in that space. They're taking customers away from Microsoft, and they're offering their apps and all this sort of stuff. So they're pretty active.
Oh, look, don't get me wrong. I think it's a great idea. I think you're going to have a hard time convincing people that it's actually a benefit. That's all I'm saying. I think it is. I think it's great. But I think the average person is going to look at that and go, well, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. But like, if you're some sort of consultant, you start pushing.
You're some sort of consultant, you are.
So, you know what I mean? So, like, what Microsoft probably doesn't give you nothing for signing up to 365. Google's going to give you $15. So, hey, which way are you going to go? Probably down
and I
there.
guess you only need one referral a month, and you've got 3 months worth of 3 months worth of hosting, don't you?
Well, that's right. That's right. Now, what else you got, Will?
Alrighty, so time to talk Android.
Oh, great.
So while your everyday Samsung user doesn't have access to the Samsung Gear VR headset in Australia yet, Samsung has done a deal with Qantas, flying first class from Sydney to Melbourne, and they'll be able to partake in the array of virtual tours and in-flight blockbusters through the headset. Qantas and Samsung will be running a 3-month trial of the Gear VR, or as Qantas describes it, because they couldn't possibly call it the same name as Samsung's virtual reality technology headset.
Oh, yes.
Because that's much shorter. Beginning in the Sydney International First Lane, just mid-February, in first-class cabins and selected long-haul flights on the A380s. So there's already all the stuff that's already been published for it, but Qantas is actually creating their own content for it as well. They'll have live-action content, so like destination footage, which is current up-to-date content of virtual tours of where people are landing and the actual airports they're going to, and a walkthrough of how to get to where you're going from there, and all sorts of stuff like that. So that'll be interesting. The Samsung Gear itself is around $250 per unit. A Note 4 and up is required to actually run it. It will be brought into Australia, but probably not until later on, late in the year. But so if you fly first class Qantas, because that's the only way to fly, it's perfect for you.
What was it called again?
It's just the Samsung Gear VR, which is a virtual reality headset of Samsung's.
Right. Okay.
That they're using on the Qantas in-flight. So
wouldn't it be nice to have a bed on a plane, eh? Like that lady. That'd be nice.
I think that's a guy.
Oh.
It's not that guy. That's a lady. Oh, no, that's a guy too. No, they're guys. Yeah, there you go. It's sad when you can't tell, eh?
Well, I've got a small screen. I can't see. It's too small.
But
that's what she said.
That's why you're flying solo.
All right. So
so there's that. And while we're on the subject of Microsoft, actually, I meant to do this story before. Microsoft has basically said Surface, which is their flagship technology, has reached. Where are we? Microsoft's decision. Hey, what? Tablets finally come of age. Earlier, Microsoft said Surface revenue hit $1.1 billion for the most recent quarter, which is up 25% on the same time last year, driven by the Surface Pro 3 and accessories. It's all gangbusters there.
No, still hampered by the lack of apps.
Yeah, basically. However, having said that, Microsoft has confirmed it stopped marketing at Surface 2. Manufacturing at Surface 2. So the Surface 2, which has just created more revenue in the last quarter than ever has, is the device they've suddenly just decided to stop selling. Well done, Microsoft.
Yeah, well, the Surface 3, like it's like, look, it's great. Windows 10 is great. Everything's great, except there's no apps. You know, like I've got a little laptop with the Windows 8 on it, just no apps. I still have to go back to the iPad. You just cannot get quality apps for 10, for 8.1. But anyway.
When it comes to Microsoft, I think they're really trying to play a long game now. They are. I think we all know they missed the boat with the iOS, with the launch of iPhone and iPad, and I think maybe they realise that it's might be too late to catch up. So I think they're playing the long game, and since I think it's Satya Nadella, their new CEO, has come on board, all the things they seem to be releasing are a little bit different, and it seems to be like a real long game project, like the HoloLens and the Surface 3. It might be that it's hard for us sitting back and not really knowing their plans, and we look like they're missing the boat. But maybe there is this longer term plan for 5-10 years out where they'll sort of come back in a real strong way, because it really does seem that they've missed the app boat, and it might not be worth them trying to recover there, because they just can't do it. They don't have the market.
Yeah, like I reckon Apple and Android you're giving Microsoft way too much credit. It's like saying AOL's just released its buddy list and it's going to take off.
No, look, I don't think so. I reckon. Look, Microsoft's not stupid. Like
they need to focus on one thing. Are they going to do a good operating system? Are they going to do a good tablet? Are they going to do a good multi-platform? Or are they just going to do half-assed attempts at everything?
But look, realistically, what can they really concentrate on an operating system? Operating systems, you got Mac OS X, $30. So no one wants to buy an operating system. So next Windows 10, they're giving it away for free if you've got 8.1. Like business customers,
only to suck up to the people they destroyed with 8.1.
No, not really. They'd still look. You had to pay for
Pixar, Disney
Vista.
and Pixar, right?
Yeah, they
were all Mac, and then Mac refused to support one of the programs they're using for doing the software. The software they're using for doing the 3D rendering and stuff. And so they went, okay, we've got $330 million. Let's buy some Windows PCs. We'll run Windows 8 because they all still use FireWire, a lot of FireWire technology they're still using because it's reliable, it's solid, and they've got it all there anyway. So they rolled out $300 million worth of hardware and software with all running Windows, only to discover that Windows 8 doesn't actually run any FireWire technology. It's not compatible with it and won't work. And so they went to Microsoft and said, well, hey, can you write us a driver for FireWire? We've just spent $300 million with you. And Microsoft went, oh, no, we don't support that. Sorry. So a few months back, after having all the Microsoft stuff for about 3 or 4 months, they basically gave it all back, said, we don't want it. And they went back to Apple, went, hey, well, guess what? We're making FireWire support on our new systems. Do you want to go with those? And they went, yep, no worries.
Well, I think that's probably, if that's right, I don't know if that's right, but that's pretty poor-sighted, I think. But
that's just one example of Microsoft's intelligence. That's everywhere. That sort of stories.
You're down on them, aren't you, Will? You're down on them.
No, I think they just need to get back to what they know. And what they started off doing was building, for the most part, decent operating systems that worked. And then they got into a war with everyone, not just an operating system and not just a phone, not just a tablet. They decided they're going to take on every market, which is fine. I mean, they own Skype. They now own Minecraft. I mean, what are they doing? What's their end game? Do they want to just be the Microsoft version of Google?
Well, that's what Frank's saying. They've got an end game. I think, and part of their end game, part of their end game is when you look at Windows 10, they're saying develop an app once, and then it's on a computer, it's on a tablet, it'll work on a phone. And then you only have to do it once. So that's going to save people a lot of time. So maybe that's going to entice more developers, hopefully. So
that's the thing. Like, why do they? But this is what I'm saying. Like, okay, why did they release Windows 8? And then why didn't they go? Okay, this isn't going to work. This isn't what we're trying to achieve. Let's not even release it. Let's completely scrap it and start again. Why did they release this thing that everyone hates and then try and say, well, okay, we know it's no good, but here, try this one?
Well, I think also just probably thinking back to when all this was going on.
That's what they do every second operating system.
No, but I was about to say that.
But you had that Steve Ballmer. Now, whether or not he was good for the company or not, that's up for you to decide. But he was a bit of a wacko. So maybe he made a few decisions that belonged in the past, in Microsoft's past, and he was continuing to make these decisions. But anyway, that's how it works. I think 10's going to be, it's great. Look, I've never had a problem with any of it. Vista didn't have a problem. 7, no problems. and
Yeah, well,
8,
7's
no
been fine.
problems.
I use 7 still. Like that's my main. I can't run 8.1. Most of my stuff doesn't work on it.
Like what?
So, most of my hardware, because it's all Republica gamers and they don't develop drivers for Windows 8 because it's so unstable.
Right.
Because they just recommend you don't use Windows 8 because it's so unstable.
Yeah,
so
right.
they don't support it.
Well, I probably don't push my machine that hard. I just sit here doing podcasts and all that sort of stuff.
I can't push my machine that hard. The highest I've ever seen my CPU go is 50% now.
Yeah, well, you got the Intel now, haven't you?
Well, yeah, it's a
What's
it's a 6-month-old gaming system. I don't know. It's absolutely insane. It's a Republic of Gamers gaming system. It's a $4,000 computer that I paid almost nothing for, and the thing is absolutely insane. I've got 4 video cards in it. I can run 8 screens. It's just it's got 8 SATA controllers on board and an expansion card with another 8.
Oh,
so you can run 16 hard drives in this thing.
Oh, you love it, Will. You absolutely love it. Rate up.
Well, I am, but it's nuts. Like it's at the moment I've actually got 2 Minecrafts running in the background because I was playing those earlier. I've got about a dozen browser windows open. I've got Wirecast, Skype, and a whole heap of other miscellaneous stuff, and I'm running at 3% CPU.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pushing everything out. It's going about 95%.
Yeah.
That's struggling. But anyway, all right. Last story is, look, just really quickly, the apps. This is an app that someone, I think, I might say they also might push this onto the Aussie Mac Zone next week because there was a question about this the other week. How can you watch what your kids are doing on the iPhone? You know, like how do you do this? Well, there's an app. It's called, what is that called? It's called Teen Safe. Now it's it's not free. It's $15 a month, but you can keep a track on what they're looking at, what they're sending on Facebook, what they're doing, etc., etc. It's available in Australia and New Zealand, and hopefully, well, who cares about the rest of the world? But hopefully, the rest of the world. It says it has an 800,000 people sign up for $15 a month. Wow! So just before the show, I thought I'll give that a shot, but I couldn't find it in the App Store. So I don't know where that is, but I found another one that was for free. So type in Teen Space Safe, and you'll find something similar that looks like it does it for free. I'll report next week. All right, okay. So no one else? You're all done, Shane? You're all finished?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yep, and Will, yes?
Couple of quick stories. It's been official now. YouTube has switched over to straight HTML5 for its videos. It's no longer using the Flash player. Which means their videos load faster, they're generally more stable, and a lot less memory is being consumed if you've got multiple YouTube tabs open. So you really notice it on Chrome, or actually I'm using the 64-bit version of Chrome for the most part. It's pretty much what I use, which is called Canary. So if you're on a 64-bit OS, make sure you grab Canary because there's a huge night and day difference between 32-bit and 64-bit. It's also going to work correctly on Firefox. But apparently it does work on Internet Explorer 11, but it's not completely seamless. Surprise, surprise. And speaking of Google, just to rub salt into the wounds, Google is expanding its fiber network again. It's free black cable, black fiber, dark fiber. So they're launching the product in Nashville, Carolina, and there's 5 or 6 other locations, which basically gives you minimum speeds of 100 meg up, 100 meg down is the absolute minimum speed that you'll receive. Most customers are receiving about 250 meg up and up to as much as a gig down.
Yeah, right, that's awesome.
You have to pay a $300 connection fee, and if you get the full maximum speed service, the gigabit service with the free cable TV package in the States, it's $130 a month for every channel of everything, or just for the internet, it's $70 a month for the gigabit speed service. The basic slowest, as I said, is 100, and it's $15 a month.
Well done.
Yeah,
it's so hard to imagine, isn't it?
Australia, catch up, will you?
Yeah, it would be awesome. All right, well, I think that's just about all of us done. Once again, thanks, Frank, for coming on and tell us about ScopeIT Education.
No, thanks for having me.
No worries at all. It's ScopeITeducation.com.au if you want to know more, or send Frank an email from the site. But most of it's all up there, and I'm sure Frank's got a couple more little goodies he can tell you in person. All right, so that's that. All right, thanks, Shane. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry about the false start.
No problems. You're all right. No one will know. That's how it
Well, I
works.
wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's true.
And Will, thanks for coming in. That's great. You can find us all at aussietechheads.com.au. Send us an email if you've got something to say, or don't if you haven't.
Well, send us an email if you don't have something to say. It doesn't really matter. Just send a blank email.
Just send a blank email, yeah.
Send us a test email, whatever. I'll reply to it. That's all right. All right. So that's great. So until next week, it's goodbye from all of us. Ta-da.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bye, guys.